Good morning everyone. In this video I'm going to analyze the live price action for EU and DXY to see what opportunities may be available for today. You're going to see my strategy and my analysis, so if you're interested in those then please stick around. Right, we're going to start off here on the daily chart. We have EU on the top, DXY on the bottom. Now what's the daily showing us? Yesterday we closed out as a bearish engulfing, right? Clearly we had a large bearish move up here in this premium on the daily leg, okay? And on our inverse DXY we had a bullish engulfing candle. Now one thing to note is obviously we have now closed this imbalance on the daily and also now mitigated a daily order block down in this area. I do still see this obviously as a discount, so we have more premium imbalances higher up in this leg here on DXY, so price may still be attracted that way. However, just to bear in mind, there could possibly be some resistance here. Obviously we don't have that same imbalance with order block here on EU, and we do have those imbalances more below towards a discount, so price may be drawn down towards there. And with the engulfing yesterday, that could be the intention of the market to continue lower. Let's go down to the 4 hour and see how that looks. So here on the 4 hour, for those that haven't been following, this purple box here is a 4 hour order block POI, which we rejected on Friday and price has pulled lower since, right? We had our range, took buy side liquidity, and then yesterday we had that bearish day, as you can see from these 4 hour candles here. So the entire range of the previous daily high to low there. Now we did yesterday just about sweep this low here where these 4 hour order blocks are. Now we haven't come below all of these lows yet, of course, but we did sweep this low and we pulled back somewhat overnight. Now this would be an internal leg, be a bit more cleaner on the 1 hour, but there are 4 hour imbalances more in the premium of this leg here, where there is of course a 4 hour order block as well. So I think price looks interesting. We have our internal bearish leg there where we broke below these lows, swept buy side liquidity before breaking those lows. We have most recently taken sell side liquidity and pulled back somewhat. Now we have those POIs above, so price may be drawn right into more of a premium of this leg to fill one of these imbalances or deeper into this 4 hour order block up here. So we can see price this morning, we'll see it better on lower time frames, took the highs above this previous 4 hour candle and had a bearish push. However, right now we seem to be pulling back, okay? So that may be the draw on price above here, right? And price may not be done pulling back just yet. So that's what I see on the 4 hour. This is obviously still a discount of that bullish leg. We had POIs here, but we also took that sell side liquidity, which would have been a driver for this pullback. So we have some possible future resistance here, which where we rejected this 4 hour order block and started making this internal lower low, right, may become another resistance to continue a further pullback. I don't want to reach too far into the future, right, with that prediction. I just see this as a draw on price and possible resistance, okay? So before assuming that price is going to continue lower from where it is now, we have a draw on price above that may be a better place to look for shorts from if this resistance plays out. If we look at DXY, right, we had that sell side liquidity sweep and then we got that bullish internal leg making a new higher high, right, pulling price towards its 4 hour order block as well, which obviously was bearish EU at that same point. So we have some conflicting ideas here in terms of DXY may need to continue bullish to meet its POI here, which would obviously cause a more bearish EU. So there is definitely still room for EU to be bearish. However, we may get more of a pullback here after it created this internal bullish leg as EU pulls back into its resistance here. So we may pull back here, find some support in its order block POI down here possibly, or it could find some support somewhere else, and then DXY can come from there and go into its 4 hour POI to then maybe continue bearish from there. So There is definitely a narrative that could line up, and I hope I've made that clear. Any questions, just let me know in the comments. So let's go down to the 1 hour and see what that's showing us. So on the 1 hour, let's just go over this price action again, right? We can see on Tuesday into Wednesday, of course, we swept buy side liquidity above these internal highs here. Price broke down into Wednesday. We just swept the lows of this previous low for sell side liquidity, and then price has been pulling back overnight and into the Asia session into today. So potentially we have this internal bearish leg there, because we technically made that lower low, but it is a sweep. Okay, so I do expect some pullback from there, which we can see maybe happening now, right, towards a buy side liquidity POI, such as the 4 hour order blocks up here, or we even have this 1 hour order block just into the premium. So I've laid that out, possible resistance where they overlap at this point here. Now price had a lovely corrective trend line overnight, as you can see, and we swept some buy side liquidity this morning above Asia, and that gave us that momentum, that bearish momentum we saw this morning. Now that seems to have stopped, and as you can see, this 1 hour candle is forming like a low test and maybe pulling back to head higher, right? So like I've been mentioning, these will be draws on price, 4 hour POI, 1 hour POI into a premium, and it may be drawing price. DXY did the same, swept some sell side liquidity this morning and had a brief bullish momentum, and at the moment may pull back further for a discount higher time frame POI. So in terms of bias, I would say I am leaning towards a short bias. However, preferably that needs to be up here. It needs to be more in the premium. I need to see one of these POIs hold as a resistance. I think would be good, right? I don't want to short technically down from in this discount here unless something that I cannot refuse happens in price, right? We do have that very nice trend line there, of course, on both DXY and EU, and we have the draw on price on DXY above with this 1 hour and 4 hour POI. So that may happen, but I think the better areas for the shorts is up here. And unfortunately, these will also be the negatives for if we was to short from around this area, that this could have happened. Price could be pulling back to go into these zones here. I don't see any major like buys at the moment, any great areas to buy from, if I'm being honest, even though we are in a discount. Maybe something could have happened if we swept some fresh sell side liquidity below these lows. So that's how I'm reading it. I'm leaning towards shorts, but I'm leaning towards those preferably from these areas, unless order flow changes that into the market. So let's go down to the M15 and see what opportunities may be available this morning. So on the M15, what transpired this morning? As I said, we had that lovely corrective trend line here. We created a bit of a range in the Asia session, and then Frankfurt spiked up, swept those highs from the New York session high and Asia yesterday, which was lovely, and also into an old M15 order block here from previous day in London, and just broke down with a lot of bearish momentum from there, right? Because we took sell side liquidity here also on DXY into an old M15 order block as well, and had the same momentum, breaking structure even. So everything looked good here. Now we do have arguably this M15 order block now above here, where price may be attracted to and pull back and respect. However, like I mentioned, we have the 1 hour POI above. There's an M15 order block within that. We're in a discount here, so these negatives may just outweigh it. I'm not saying that this opportunity here may not play out, but as I said in my earlier analysis, I would prefer if the shorts came from higher up in price. There is some conflict on the lower time frame in terms of, yeah, we had this breakdown. Now we're pulling back to this M15 order block area where we had a breaker structure around here, and we could short from the order block, continuing our recent bearish trend from yesterday. We have that good trend line to aim for down to the previous daily low. I'm probably not going to participate in that. It has many confluence on its side. Like I said, internal buy side liquidity, mitigated low time frame POI. We've broken structure. You know, there's supporting factors here as well on DXY. DXY also has its drawn price above, so it's possible it's going to happen. I think the best areas to short from will be this 1 hour into the 4 hour POI. So what do I want to see? Well, preferably just see price continuing how it's going. Maybe it'll do it correctively, maybe it won't. Come up into this 1 hour POI area here. Either reject that immediately and cause a break of structure like this, break of structure below that low. Then we can get a pullback to our lower time frame order block with imbalance to go short, or it may create some sort of range up here and some sort of resistance consolidation that it may sweep later, and then we can look for the break of structure. But either way, I hope you get the picture that we'll have come up into this area, shown resistance, possibly consolidated, broken structure around this area here, pulled back, possibly corrective, leaving an inducement there. We've got our lower time frame order block with imbalance from the momentum which entered the market, and then we could have set our order stop loss just above the highs, aiming for wherever your strategy aims for. Okay, don't necessarily have to go for the lows. And we'll have taken the buy side liquidities above here, but more importantly, we'd have mitigated a 1 hour POI, held it as resistance, broken structure, pulled back to our order block with imbalance to go short. We'd have mitigated an M15 order block as well, if that's important. And yeah, I think that would look good for shorts. So that's my preference at this moment. I wouldn't look for longs until we've taken some sell side liquidity or met some sort of sell side POI in the discount to look for the change in structure to go long with. So that's everything. That's what I'm looking for. I hope that was clear. I hope you got value from that. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.